Tantor Audio, a division of Recorded Books presents Shopify For Dummies by Paul Waddy, narrated by Cartwright. Publisher's note. In this audio edition, you will hear references to figures and tables present in the print and ebook formats of the book. Limit of liability, disclaimer of warranty. The publisher and the author make no representations or warranties with respect to the accuracy or completeness of the contents of this work, and specifically disclaim all warranties, including, without limitation, warranties of fitness for a particular purpose. No warranty may be created or extended by sales or promotional materials. The advice and strategies contained herein may not be suitable for every situation. This work is sold with the understanding that the publisher is not engaged in rendering legal, accounting, or other professional services. If professional assistance is required, the services of a competent professional person should be sought. Neither the publisher nor the author shall be liable for damages arising herefrom. The fact that an organization or website is referred to in this work as a citation and/or a potential source of further information does not mean that the author or the publisher endorses the information the organization or website may provide or recommendations it may make. Further, readers should be aware that internet websites listed in this work may have changed or disappeared between when this work was written and when it is read. Introduction. There's never been a better time to sell online. I've lost count of the number of people I've met in e-commerce who have become self-made millionaires, let alone the millions of people around the world who've decided to make their living trading over the World Wide Web. You may have something in common with just about all of them. They come from diverse professional backgrounds, and hardly any of them have studied how to sell online, and there's two good reasons for that. E-commerce is such a young concept. Shopify itself was only founded in 2006, so the chances are you've had a prior career and are looking for something new. Hardly any courses teach end-to-end e-commerce, so there are very few e-commerce graduates. Before you picked up this book, there's a pretty good chance you had already heard about Shopify. Shopify is certainly a buzzword around e-commerce, and it has been generating huge amounts of global interest in recent years. A simple search on Google Trends will show as much. Now, just because people are searching in droves for Shopify online, it doesn't mean you have to try it for your online store, but I definitely recommend you do. I've used Shopify to sell clothes, shoes, pet accessories, furniture, beverages, beds, beauty products, you name it. I've probably helped sell it. I decided to write Shopify for Dummies because I'm passionate about online retail and I want to be a part of growing the e-commerce ecosystem. In my career, I've founded online businesses, advised online businesses, and co-founded a digital marketing agency that focuses on online retail. I've decided to share my experience and knowledge, plus the odd trick or two, with a wider audience that's ready to pick up this book, grab their laptop and a cup of coffee, and start their own Shopify store. About this book. I've written this book as a practical guide to starting a Shopify store. With each chapter that goes by, you'll be developing a different aspect of your online store, with the end game being that by the time you finish reading this book, your online store will be ready to go live. This book is a little different to what you might find on YouTube or in other books, in that I use my experience to also teach you about the business fundamentals of e-commerce, like how to choose the trending products, where to source them, and how to price them. You won't just be learning about the e-commerce platform that is Shopify, you'll be learning how to grow a business, as well as create a digital shopfront. Throughout this book, I explain why I rate Shopify so highly and share how you can use Shopify to run a successful e-commerce business. I look at all the steps sequentially in an easy-to-follow manner so that anyone can pick up the book and develop their store as they go. I also include sidebars, boxes containing examples or some extra background information, and some technical information that you may or may not feel you need to know. Look out for the technical stuff icons that occasionally appear. But don't worry, if they're giving too much information and you want to stay focused on your end goal, you can skip those and keep on reading. You can always come back to them later. And because the book is organized in a logical way, you can always jump back to key topics if you need to refresh your memory. Foolish assumptions. This book doesn't require you to have any prior knowledge of how to use Shopify. That's my job. However, I do make a few assumptions about you. I assume you've got some sort of interest in selling online, and you have an inkling that Shopify may be the platform that can enable you to create a successful online store. Perhaps you've read a few blogs or watched a few YouTube videos, or even read other books that piece together various aspects of e-commerce, and you're looking for something to help you get started. I also assume you don't have a product lined up ready to sell, although you might have. If so, good for you. Whether you have a product stockpiled in the garage, or you're tinkering with your first few product ideas, I show you how to look for products that have the potential to be bestsellers. Perhaps you've started an online store in the past and it hasn't worked, or perhaps this is your first attempt. Or maybe you're simply looking to assess whether or not this Shopify thing is for you. Wherever you're starting from, I've got you covered in this book. I do assume you've got a computer and an appetite to discover how to build an online store, big or small. If that sounds like you, read on. Icons used in this book. To keep you on your toes, there are different icons verbalized throughout the book. I use these icons to draw your attention to key points, little tricks or quick wins, and shortcuts and warnings. The icons are pretty self-explanatory, but here's a summary of what they mean. Remember, if this were a textbook and you were studying for an exam, you would highlight these parts. These are the key messages that will serve you well as you undertake each stage of building your Shopify store. Technical stuff. I try not to get too technical, but when I do, it comes with a warning. When you see this sign, I may well be talking about stuff that you can brush over, as it's usually extra information that explains technical features. Mostly, I keep the book practical and avoid over-techy stuff, but some of these extra details may speak to you, depending on your store. Tip. This is what I call the gold. Hold on to these tips. They're often time savers or money makers. Warning. I use the warning icon when I am highlighting a common mistake or something you need to look out for, so try and keep an eye out for this one. The chances are you'll be learning from one of my mistakes. Example. To help you understand how Shopify and e-commerce works in real life, I add a few examples so you can start to imagine how the decisions you make may play out for your business. Where to go from here? I've written this book so that you can easily navigate to the correct chapter to find out what a particular topic or how to perform a particular task using Shopify. Simply turn to the relevant part or chapter of the book and dive in. Of course, you can read it from start to finish, which is what I recommend. It is written in a logical order that you can follow to gradually build up your online store and understand the intersecting pieces that complement your Shopify store. Finding products, storing products, shipping to your customers, and marketing to your customers, for example. However, after you've finished reading the book, you may want to flick back to certain chapters to revisit key topics. Don't be afraid to jump around when you feel ready. You might turn to Part 2 to find out how to build your store, then jump ahead to read more about marketing in Part 5, before going back to Part 3 to develop a deeper understanding of your customer, or Part 4 to set up shipping in Shopify. Part 1 also contains plenty of useful information on sourcing products and identifying sales channels, as well as outlining the different parts of your Shopify admin, where the magic begins in Shopify. Get to know your Shopify admin in Chapter 2. I've tried to use my experience, both good and bad, to take you on a straightforward journey towards building a user-friendly, visually appealing, and financially rewarding online store. I hope that as you work your way through the book, you'll see ways to improve your evolving store and develop the confidence to get started in your new e-commerce career. I'd love to hear how the book has helped you sell your first product on Shopify too. After all, that's why I've written the book, to help more people use Shopify to improve their lives. I've had a great career in e-commerce, and I absolutely love using Shopify. I hope you feel excited about starting your e-commerce journey. Thanks for allowing me to play a small part in your journey. I'm excited for you too, as I know what an adventure it can be. Part 1. Getting started with Shopify. In this part, understand the essentials of e-commerce, from product idea to shipping your goods. Get to know the Shopify admin as you take the first steps to set up your store. Discover ways to identify new products and explore the different sales channels you can use. In this chapter, setting the e-commerce scene, seeing how Shopify can help you plan for success, getting ready to build a user-friendly online store, managing inventory and fulfilling orders, marketing your online business. Chapter 1. Introducing the e-commerce essentials. E-commerce is a wonderful vehicle for positive change in so many ways. I've been lucky enough to witness many people make successful careers out of both starting an online store or working in e-commerce. I've also seen the undeniable positive impact that trading online can have on the environment and society in general by giving wider reach and accessibility to promote good causes or raise money. For me, e-commerce is not only a career but a passion, and I take great pride in the e-commerce community as it continues to evolve into what surely must be the future of e-commerce. In this chapter, I introduce you to some e-commerce essentials, including looking at the inception and history of trading goods and services online. I then go on to introduce you to Shopify, the e-commerce platform that is the subject of this book, as I explain all the areas that I drill deeper into throughout the book. My goal in this book is to help you understand Shopify's place in the e-commerce ecosystem and to hold your hand as you build your own Shopify store. I aim to help you build more than an online store that just goes live. My goal is to help you build a thriving, sustainable online business using the brilliant platform that is Shopify. Shopify is for everyone, and with the right guidance and learning, you can make Shopify work for you in ways that may change your life forever. It takes patience and hard work, but it can be done. And in this book, I aim to show you how. Explaining e-commerce. So, what is e-commerce, aside from a fancy name for selling stuff online? Well, e-commerce is exactly that, the electronic sale of goods, both physical and digital, hence the name e-commerce, which simply means electronic commerce. Drilling down further, e-commerce involves selling goods and services via an online store or any other online sales channel, such as a marketplace, think eBay and Amazon. Although it could be claimed that e-commerce in its earliest forms, such as the introduction of electronic funds transfers, dates back to the late 1960s and 1970s, in this book I focus more on products being sold online rather than the transmission of data, such as electronic lodgements of tax and other information. In the 1980s and early 1990s, companies such as the Boston Computer Exchange created online marketplaces for people to sell their old computers. Fast forward a few years to 1995, and you saw the launch of the online marketplace Amazon, which you've probably heard of, and if you haven't, I suggest you put this book down and Google it. In 1999, another giant was founded, the enormous Chinese online marketplace Alibaba. The two founders of these companies, Jeff Bezos and Jack Ma, sit high in the rankings of the wealthiest people in the world, so you're in good company. Whether you're a multinational or global business, an experienced retailer with multiple stores, a Ma and Pa style business with a local store, or a first-timer, whether you're selling bohemian crystals, heated dog mats, shoes, or all of the above, there has never been a better time to try your hand at e-commerce. And in this book, I'm going to show you how Shopify can help you succeed. Introducing Shopify. How do I Shopify? I'll take 3 Shopifys, please. John, please can you pass me the Shopify? These are all things that don't make sense. I am going to assume, though, that you have zero knowledge of what Shopify is, so I start from the ground up. Even if you're already selling online with Shopify, you may discover something you didn't know. Shopify is an e-commerce platform, and an e-commerce platform is the software that an online store uses to sell goods and services online. An online store needs a back end to hold stock, images, product info, and data, and it needs a front end, a virtual shop front where people can browse and transact. Shopify provides that platform. Think of it as the engine that powers your online store. Shopify is a Canadian company founded by Tobias Lutke and Scott Lake, 2 snowboarding enthusiasts who had been trying to build their own website, Snowdevil. When Snowdevil morphed into an e-commerce platform, it was called Jaded Pixel, before it became known as Shopify. From their experience selling snowboarding gear, the guys realized that the platform had the ability to be something that other e-commerce merchants could use and benefit from, and so Daniel Wynand was brought in to help build up what is now known as Shopify, which was officially launched in 2006. By 2008, Shopify had taken its first investment round from John Phillips, who injected 250,000 Canadian dollars into the business, at a valuation of $3 million. At this point, the platform was heavily focused on helping first-time online sellers navigate the complexities of selling online. However, its cost-effective solution attracted heavyweights like Tesla, which proved that Shopify could be just as attractive at both ends of the market, from startups to global enterprises. Fast forward 7 years and Shopify has continued its exponential growth, going public in 2014 with a valuation of 1.3 billion Canadian dollars. By 2020, Shopify was powering over 1 million merchants and had global sales of more than 1.35 billion Canadian dollars going through the platform. These days, it's fair to say Shopify is more than just an e-commerce platform. It has thriving POS, point of sale, software, and is growing in popularity among wholesalers for its easy-to-use wholesale application, which allows wholesale customers to place online orders from suppliers. I love using Shopify because the barriers to entry are lower than you may think. You don't need a fancy degree or $1 million in your bank account to get started. The average cost of fitting out a nice retail store in a good location can cost in excess of $100,000 before you have even bought your stock or hired your staff. A savvy operator can open their online store with Shopify or a similar platform for free, only paying a monthly fee if they decide to continue past the free trial. Example. In my ecosystem as an advisor and owner of online businesses, Shopify is by far the preferred platform for online retailers of all sizes. I've seen incredible success stories through Shopify, including a story I heard recently when I had lunch with a guy I have known for about 5 years. He had been struggling with his online business for years. After pouring all his money into building a brand, he was always on the cusp of success, but he couldn't quite make it work. However, when we met for lunch, he told me the good news that he was on track to turn over 7.8 million Australian dollars, with a 19% profit margin. I was buzzing for him, and we spoke about the role Shopify had played in reducing his barriers to success. If he had required a developer during those tough years, he may well have given up. But Shopify's usability meant that he could power through, making small changes at a minimal cost until his online store was thriving. To me, that epitomizes the nature of Shopify's platform, and I have plenty of stories like that. Shopify has helped make more millionaires than any other product I know. Shopify is unique. I've never seen a platform or tool that can literally change someone's life so quickly without them needing to spend millions or have in-depth web development skills. If that hasn't whetted your appetite, you may want to check your pulse, because I'm excited for your journey ahead with Shopify. It won't always be easy, but if you add the right elements, like great products and great people, there's no reason you can't be another Shopify success story. Planning for e-commerce success. Throughout this book, I write a lot about good planning being one of the cornerstones of a successful business. And in part 1, I take you right to the start of what you need to do to get started with Shopify. As well as finding your way around how to use Shopify, getting to know its features, including your Shopify admin, which you can think of as the engine that powers your Shopify store. I also consider how you get started with e-commerce in chapters 2 and 3, how you source your products and what prices you sell them at, as well as where you sell them and how you can make a profit along the way. If you're not sure which sales channel you can use to sell your wisely sourced products, I introduce you to some options, including familiar marketplaces such as eBay and Amazon. Or you can simply fly solo and only sell through your online store. The choice is yours, and the options are many and varied. Getting creative. Setting up your Shopify store. When you come to build your online store, you have plenty of opportunity to start getting creative. Sounds like fun, right? This stage of building a business through Shopify is crucial to get right, even if it can be a lot of fun. You need to consider the user experience as your site develops. For example, how easy is it to navigate? And can your customers find what they are looking for? Are you showcasing your products in all their glory, or forgetting to add key information, such as colors, sizes, dimensions? Does your site look the part as well as deliver on the details? Tip: you can preview your store as you build it and add new features, and it is incredibly motivating to see the progress as you go. It also gives you the chance to check that the way you present your products works well in reality on your site. Don't worry if you don't have a creative bone in your body. With Shopify, you get plenty of help with what to include on your site and where. In Chapter 4, I show you how you can use Shopify to create images, banners, and videos that make your store look amazing. Chapter 5 gets straight into creating products inside your store, including naming, pricing, and describing your products, as well as publishing them across one or more sales channels. I also show you how to add products to your store that have variants, such as different colors and sizes. The fun doesn't stop there, though. In your online store, you can group your products together in collections, which are like categories. In Chapter 5, I also show you how to create collections of your products so you can showcase them in different ways. Sadly, the fun takes a brief pause in Chapter 6, where I look at some of the inevitable admin that comes with running an online store using Shopify. This includes tax and shipping, though it also rather excitingly includes receiving payments. Shopify is a global platform, and I'd love to see your store go global as well. So in Chapter 6, I also show you how to accept foreign currencies, and how to set your store up to ship orders both domestically and internationally, with some advice around how to price your shipping, such as when to offer it for free. Making friends with your customers. This section is all about two key groups, the customer and the user. A user is someone who visits and uses your website, and ideally you want to convert them into a paying customer. Part 3 is all about providing the user and the customer with the best possible experience, which fittingly is called the customer experience and the user experience. I look at good old-fashioned customer service in Chapter 7 and explore how Shopify can help you provide top-level service across a variety of customer service channels, including email, live chat, Facebook Messenger, and the faithful telephone. In Chapter 8, I deep dive into how the overall experience can be improved, from the way you serve your customers to trying to convert them into loyal customers through loyalty programs. I also tackle customer reviews and user-generated content and how you can turn customers into brand ambassadors through encouraging positive reviews. In Chapter 9, I offer some tips for making your online store and user experience as user-friendly as possible, while in Chapter 10, I attempt to demystify machine learning and personalization when it comes to e-commerce. Tip: artificial intelligence, AI, isn't only for the big end of town, as you'll discover. You'll be able to create a unique experience for each user, both on your website and in your marketing communications, using personalization techniques. Taking care of business, managing stock levels, and delivering orders. In this book, I get right into the nuts and bolts of what's involved in building a beautiful and user-friendly Shopify store, but also making it a successful online business, and that includes inventory management and logistics. Inventory management is one of the most complex aspects of e-commerce, and in Chapter 11, I look at inventory by starting with the basics, from how to place purchase orders, POs, to how to receive products into your inventory in Shopify, make them available to sell, and accurately manage your inventory moving forward. Order fulfillment, getting the order to the customer, and logistics can be the difference between getting a customer and keeping a customer. If you scroll through the reviews of some of your favorite online stores, you're likely to see comments around the delivery experience and the returns experience. In Chapters 12 and 13, I show you how to use Shopify to manage and fulfill your orders. Shopify doesn't just help you build good-looking websites. It's got tools to help with the end-to-end selling experience, including fulfilling your orders and, when need be, refunding them quickly when things go wrong. It also offers Shopify shipping, which is a great solution if you live in Australia, Canada, or the United States, where it is available. I provide you with different shipping solutions that cover other parts of the world too in Chapter 13. Growing your business through marketing. Digital marketing is an essential part of growing your business and reaching your customers. And from the dark arts of SEO, search engine optimization, to using Google ads and Facebook ads, Part 5 of the book has your marketing needs covered. I show you how and where to spend your money to gain sales profitably. In Chapters 14 to 17, I look at how to optimize your online store so you rank highly in search engine results, and how to pay your way to the top, if that's your modus operandi. I also show you how to use social media platforms such as Facebook and Instagram to gain new customers, considering whether or not you can still make money when using social media without paying for the privilege. Spoiler alert, it's getting harder. Taking your e-commerce journey full circle and back to planning for success, I look at building a marketing plan and how to gauge your success after you launch. I unpack some of the key marketing metrics like ROAS, return on ad spend, to help you understand what a successful marketing campaign looks like. My aim in this part of the book is to help you acquire and retain customers profitably without burning through too much cash. And as such, I show you how to set up some clever marketing automations using Shopify's inbuilt marketing tools such as abandoned cart automations. Remember, with an understanding of digital marketing taken care of, you'll be getting very close to launching your online store, but, importantly, you'll have a realistic idea of what's involved, including how much time and money you need to invest in your new business, and what sorts of results you can expect. Going live. By the time you're approaching the end of this book, you'll be itching to publish your store or make it go live. However, before I set you off into the Shopify wilderness, I share some helpful tips and tricks to help you get off to the best possible start with your Shopify store. In Chapter 18, I tell you all about my favorite Shopify apps and how they can help with the smooth running of your online store. In Chapter 19, I remind you how important it is to put the customer first, as well as sharing some tips on improving the customer and user experience. Finally, in Chapter 20, I run through some final checks before you go live. Your last piece of technical homework will be to remove the password that stops the general public from seeing your store. Therefore, keeping it private, you'll be asked to set up a password when you sign up to Shopify. For more on this, see Chapter 2. After you've set your store free, it's time to knuckle down and put all the things you've learned to good use, setting you on the path to a promising new online business with Shopify. In this chapter, selecting a Shopify plan, getting all the Shopify support you need, exploring the Shopify admin panel, using Shopify to sell physical and digital products. Chapter 2. Finding your way around Shopify. E-commerce is an exciting place to be, and you may already have visions of the kind of Shopify store you want to operate, the products you want to sell, the way you want your store to look, the sales and marketing strategy that will see your business thrive. For now, however, it's best you put that Ferrari down payment on hold. You need to start with the basics. Choosing a Shopify plan, getting to know the Shopify support services available, and understanding how Shopify works. Choosing a Shopify plan. Shopify offers a range of plans to suit any business size, and you can even start a free trial before you decide on the best plan to suit your business. The free trial lasts for 14 days, and it costs nothing to set up. You don't even need to worry about entering your card details, so you have no worries about paying for the service before you decide to go ahead. Shopify seems to understand how annoying it is to sign up to a free trial, only to find that your card has been charged when the trial ends. You also only pay for your Shopify service month to month, and there are no contracts, so you can give it a go without worrying about any long-term commitments. Tip: I encourage you to go ahead and register for the 14-day free trial as you start working through this book. By the end of the book, you may have built your store, all within 14 days. Don't worry about creating a domain name right now. I cover this in the upcoming section, Deciding on Your Domain Name. Tip: the good news is it's easy to change your plan at any time. whenever you need to as your business grows. As an example, if you are looking at integrating a third
Sample complete. Ready to continue?